Yes, Razor Ray, the most successful Super Rugby coach with 11 wins for as a player and the 7th heaven coach who delivered against the Mana, the Chiefs, on Saturday night. He joins us on Izzy and Kempy for breakfast. Razor, tell me, mate, do you still have a headache? Have you recovered?
The recovery mode is still well and truly in action, man. You don't go as long as our days, Diggy. We look 4 or 5 day ones, and that it's sort of 2 days and you just go at it, and everyone disperses. But the body is not, and the mind is not as good as it used to be. Not as that sharp on the beverages. Yeah.
Well, what we've done is we've left it till Friday, so that hopefully you've got a couple of recovery days under your belt, because we come up with some pretty good questions on this breakfast show, and I'm going to start with a quick fire 5 for you. You ready?
Yeah.
Here you go. Most satisfying part of the journey
for this season? We're doing this season, Tony?
Yeah, we're talking about your journey down at the Crusaders. Remember, it's quick fire.
Just ever. Okay, ever. Ellis Park, 2017.
Okay, biggest improver. You did have a big one, didn't you?
Jason Ryan, nice.
Jason Ryan.
Okay, biggest disappointment.
How good's this? Daggy!
Biggest regret.
Throwing me under the bus.
Biggest regret. You're up to question 4.
Biggest regret. This actually isn't a regret. Not doing a doco earlier, because we did a doco this year. Yep.
Okay, and here's your last one. Who's the next Razor?
Oh, there's only one.
Only one Razor Ray.
There you go, Razor. There you go. Quick fire 5. Your head's working well, mate. You're back in it. I love it.
There you go. Kempy's got your back, Ray. How's the last couple of days been? How's the last couple of days been, Ray? Look.
I've been good the last couple. I've sort of we did all our awards night on a Monday night, and had a couple of quiet ones with the coaches and stuff the next day, just to sort of do a little internal debrief, and then we knocked it on the head. Like I said, it changes pretty quickly, and it you don't go as long and hard as it used to be. All Blacks away, AB 15 away, all the boys that have given back into NBC or wherever, they're going straight on holiday. You sort of come back, you go off a real high. Like, honestly, I get bored pretty quick, and I was like, Wednesday, what? I'm looking around, what's going on, what's next, and the group's finished. It's such a gift that you have that year, that group together, and when they leave, you become a little bit sad for a day or two.
Yeah, it must be mixed emotions. Obviously, reflecting. You got a lot of time to reflect now, Ray, and 7 years you've been at the helm, and you've had so much success. What have been those reflections over the last couple of days?
I think the connections and the relationships have been the biggest thing that I will reflect on. From all the players, everyone that's played that role, everyone had a big part to play. 2019, a lot of guys left, and it's yourself, and how we don't reinvent ourselves, but we become a little bit more clear, and we become a little bit more focused on who we are, and we went back to a lot of trademark stuff, and we introduced a lot of our new sort of theming side of it, which I can leave to the club and leave that in really good hands. And we started a lot of things off the field just as much as on, like all the charity stuff that we do, our foundation work. We've brought into the Hall of Fame, which will become forever now. So there's a lot of on-field, but also off-field stuff that you become really proud of and really reflect of, and that's going to still be there and part of the legacy.
Razor, you're obviously moving into a different job next year. You're not going to be coaching week in, week out like you are in Super Rugby. It's a different beast, isn't it, coaching internationally? How do you think you'll cope with that, not having the hands-on week in, week out throughout the season?
I'm going to get your hands on my old club summer again, some of the ways. I'll do a little bit of coaching here and there, but I'm going to treat the off-season Probably in two ways. Obviously, selection of the players, but also connection of people in the public around New Zealand, so I can get around and get down to the grassroots and connect as much as I possibly can. So I can just see where people are. They can see me. We can have conversations. I love that sort of stuff. I really enjoy getting down to the clubs and centenaries or whatever it is. And it's my club now. I'm going to be Marlins having these in a few weeks, so I'm looking forward to that. And there'll be a recovery well. But it's gonna be those things I'm going to draw in between. We have got a lot of time. There's a lot of new staff, a new coaching group. We do a lot of planning. Always say that you always win the competition in the off season. You have to get the off season right. You have to be really clearly planned and ready to go. Like Test match footy is different, so I have plenty on.
Let's dust the longboards off Razor. We'll get out there at Mount Maunganui for a wave when those swells start bowling in. I just want to talk to you about benchmarking. Like the best coaches in the world are benchmarking all the time. What's the off season for you apart from the World Cup? Are you looking to go and do some study somewhere at one of the world's best clubs?
Yeah, I am. I can't full disclosure. It hasn't been fully confirmed, but I'll tap into a couple of my connections from the coaching point of view. And I think the best ones I've ever been to is actually when you get a full week with another coach, watch them coach from Monday to the game day, and then see how they roll, what they do personally, but also how they set the team up. Like the more you coach, the longer you're in coaching, the better your staff get. They get ahead of you in the end of the game. They sort of advance their craft. And you go around like one of the best weeks I had was with Wayne Bennett, and how he shaped his weeks and his staff, and it was back when we were with the Broncos, and I learnt a lot around giving time and respect, giving it to your coach, trust them, but what you do on and off the field to make sure that you're all aligned. So I'm going to want to go to another contact sport, if it's the NFL or ice hockey, and just see how they do it. The tough, just because they're big games, there's a lot in them. There's a lot of preparation, a lot of expectations, and how they deal with all of it.
Ray, just a question looking forward to the future. Look, I know you as a passionate coach. You're a purple dot through and through, like myself. Next year, when you're going to be coaching with the All Blacks, will we see a similar style of coaching and personality and amongst that group? I think that's what everyone's looking for. But you feel like you can go there and be yourself and coach the way you want to coach and be given the reins?
Yeah, I'm pretty mindful. I can't talk too much about the ABs just with the current situation. When I start on November 1, we can dig a bit deeper. But look, get me. I think that's the first thing. You want to be pretending. I think people know who I am. I get people around I know, I trust that are experts, will challenge me in a great way. It's what's best for the team and how we can get better. But Test match footy is different. There is different stats. You have to win in parts of the game. You have to win to win them. And then it's all about the continuity and continued success. And there's a World Cup cycle ahead. There's going to be some fresh starts. So look, I'm looking forward to all those sorts of things. But and just meeting people, meeting the NZRU people, meet a lot of staff and all those things, just start to build those connections, which are so valuable.
I know everyone's pretty excited, but Ray, I want to ask you about Richie Mo'unga. Obviously, he's been your quarterback for the last 7 odd years, and to the journey that you've been on with Richie Mo, mate, what does he mean to you and to this Crusaders outfit?
Richie's special in lots of ways. I think, firstly, I talked to him as a player. Tough, mentally and physically tough. I could see his defensive area, he puts his body on the line, his head just goes where it needs to go. He owns the group, what he's expected from them. So asks really high standards and delivers them as a player firstly. He's worked on his craft as a kicker. Worked so hard with Ronan O'Dara when he was here for those couple of years that you put him up to a high percentile kicker. We know we're probably the best touch player in New Zealand, so we know what he can do with the ball in hand. Now the ball off his foot, and then his game understanding, his ability to win a game and get people in the right place and make the right decisions. I think that's important. But off the field, you just see him as a young dad, and how he connects with his family and all his charity work and what he does and what the Crusaders mean to him. Just as much as me, like what I, in my time, as a player now, his 7 years to date, you see it in the connection and the love and care for the group, and what he'll do for the team to win. It's pretty special. So he's a hell of a man, and we're just so pleased that we could send him out in a note like that.
Razor, you mentioned earlier about doing a bit of work with Wayne Bennett. I know you spent a bit of time at the Storm as well, and it does seem to be a bit of a theme in international rugby that the defence coaches tend to come from a rugby league background. You haven't gone that way with your team for next year, but was that something that tempted you?
No, I actually sent somebody else into the Storm last year to do a little bit of work with them. Like he's good at rolling up old times. He does a lot of work on the ground. So he does all our ground stuff, which all our neck and all our technical side of it. Like obviously Scott Henson is a expert. He'll be doing a defence, did it for the Cup, World Cup with Japan, worked with some great coaches. So two of them will be involved with the All Blacks, and they'll do a lot of work around making sure we've got the defensive side right. And I'll send Scotty over to a league team as well. They're really good. The good thing about to beat a league to beat a league defence, you have to beat it with attack and vice versa. So normally they progress quite quickly in attack kind of game. Then it's the adjustment in league. We play wings high, ball line defence. We've got two-man tackles, wrestle, grapple. There's a lot of stuff that goes into it, and the way they train it is a lot more professional, firstly, than us. They haven't got a set piece. There's no scrum and line out, so they do a lot of work in that tackle area. And when you can get those gains is so critical, and that's probably what we were saying about getting a league coach in, what they can create. So between the two of them, this is a short version or long version, which one you want to take is that, they'll cover that side of it, where the league takes it and all the advancements.
Ray, from an officiating point of view, all the rules, we're getting a sense lately there's probably just too many rules and it's confusing as hell for just your everyday pundits, and the referees are having to ref so many areas. If there's an area that we could probably scrap or maybe improve, what area would that be?
Wow, man, no one briefed me on all this. This is too real deep.
Should have known the heavy stuff was coming when we said it was Izzy. Come on.
Yeah. I think. Yeah. Everything's pretty clear. Like, you've got all the onsides, offsides. You've got.
Yeah.
The breakdown's the most complicated thing around it, and access to it, and because it's a contest, it becomes grey because, entry, height, hands on ground, clean out, head on shoulder on head, all these little things that happen so quickly. If that part, look, I haven't got a solution right now to give you, but that part of it is so critical for us. It defines our game, it changes our game. That's where we turn the ball over, the majority of the turnovers of the ball. How do you fine-tune that? So from a young age right through to, super and test match footy is a bit clearer for all of us. It's a project, but that's, for me, the one that, even the weekend was a prime example, wasn't it? So this area of growth for us.
Hey, Razor, just a question, I guess, that you have a lot of people out there, admirers, and especially down there in Christchurch for what you've done with the 11 titles. Mate, if you could just say one thing to the support and what that actually means to the team, because when I'm looking as an outsider and I'm a Crusader supporter, as you know, what is it so special about the boys in the red and black and the support that they get? What is so special about that support?
It's Fish represent, the top of the South Island, and we use, I'll use a little story. I'm a storyteller, so I'll use one. We use the backbone, Ulrich is our watchtower, which looks over us, and that's where all our past players sit in our watchtower. And it's tough, man. The Southern Alps is hard to survive. It was made to be rugged, to look over the top of us, and to look after us. And what happens is it becomes a part of you. You become tough, rugged. Farmers. It's cold. And you sort of have a lot of pride. People coming back down, it's going to be cold out. Yeah, cold. We love colder the better. And I think what happens in being myself on the Mount, boy, you buy into it. You become connected. You get a lot of work ethic. Your daily habits that are required on and off the field to be successful and live down here becomes quite systemic. It becomes quite built into you. And I think that people have a lot of pride and respect because they see it and what it means to them as a player, if it's on the field, and probably more if it's off the field. It's more important. You spend more time off the field than on as a player. And I think the connection points that they see in what we do off the field for our organisation and community, and open our gates at Rugby Park to connect everyone in, those relationships are really important. So the overall factor of being a Crusader, it's really, really important. You perform on and off, you have good behaviours, you have daily habits, and you know who you're representing, and that's probably why the connection between the team and our supporters are so passionate.
Bang. Powerful as anything, Ray. The power you instill, the belief you instill in your players, there's no wonders that you have the success that you get, mate. Honestly, never been coached by a coach boy, but what you do for us as players and the people that support you, it's magical, mate. Thank you so much for your time, Ray. Enjoy the next couple of months with Jano, and no doubt you'll be going chasing some sun. Well done, buddy.
Yeah,
Thanks very much for joining us.
Thank you. Get some sun. My last week for me. I think I had a lot of fun along the way too. Really enjoyed it. I think that's the thing about rugby, because it's a gift to be connected in the game we love, and I think it's really important we never forget that. The best memories and that we have, and the camaraderie, and it's a big part of our DNA as Kiwis, and it's a great way to finish this chapter off. So thank you, man.
Thank you, Razor.
Cheers, Razor.
Much appreciated, man. Appreciate your time. Go well, and we look forward to the next chapter in the Razor Ray book as well.
SENZ.